The story will be told from the perspective of the main female character.
My father gave my fiancé $60,000 to dump me and marry my cousin instead. When I saw the email that proved it, everything fell apart in about 3 seconds. I was at my desk late that night, finishing a big report for the accounting company where I worked. Tyler, the man I had been with for 5 years, had sent me a text saying he was going to stay at his place because he had a meeting early the next day. We were supposed to get married in 8 months. The invitations were already at the printer. My wedding dress was hanging in my closet inside a plastic bag. I was exhausted and my eyes hurt from looking at computer numbers for 12 hours. I reached for my phone to set an alarm and noticed Tyler's laptop sitting on the coffee table. He had left it there the day before. The screen was still on, just a bit dark. I wasn't trying to snoop. I am not the type of person who looks through other people's things, but a new message at the top of the screen caught my eye because the name of the sender was my father. My hand moved to click it before I could even think. The subject line said, "About our deal." I opened it, and my father's words felt like a punch to the face. "Tyler, I sent the remaining $30,000 to your bank account like we talked about. That makes $60,000 total as we agreed. I know this is tough, but my niece can give you a life that Adelina simply cannot. Her family knows everyone in the marketing business, and they will help your career move faster than my daughter ever could. My niece's trust fund alone is worth more than Adelina will ever earn. You are making the right move. When you break off the engagement, keep it simple. Do not talk about our deal. Adelina doesn't need to know any of this. She will get over it eventually. She always does what is logical." Tyler's reply was sent only 3 hours ago. "I understand. I care about Adelina, but you are right about the things my cousin can offer me. I will end things this weekend. Thank you for helping me see the big picture. The money will help me get a fresh start." I read those messages 3 times, then 4 times. I lost count after that. My own father had paid my fiancé to leave me for my cousin. I thought about her. My cousin was pretty and always happy. She had a popular Instagram account, a huge trust fund, and her family owned a big marketing company. We grew up together, went to birthday parties, and told each other secrets when we were kids. She was at every family dinner and every holiday. She was supposed to be one of my bridesmaids. The whole room started to spin. I grabbed the couch so I could breathe because my chest felt like it was being crushed. 5 years. I spent 5 years building a life with Tyler. We spent 5 years compromising and making plans for the future. I brought him to every family event. At Sunday dinners at my parents' house, my father would pat Tyler on the back and call him his son. Every bit of it was just a business deal. Everything had a price. I sat there in the dark. I forgot about my work and my report. The numbers on the screen didn't mean anything anymore. I had spent my life being good with math and being a responsible person. My father always told me he liked those things about me. Apparently those qualities weren't worth $60,000. The worst part wasn't the betrayal itself. The worst part was that the voice in my head sounded just like my father, saying that I always do what is practical. He knew I wouldn't cause a scene. He knew I would just take it quietly and act like a lady, just like I had with every other bad thing in my life. I had always accepted that my cousin was the pretty one, the fun one, the one people wanted to talk to. I had accepted being the serious one, the boring one who worked on Friday nights while everyone else went out. I looked down at the ring on my finger. Tyler had asked me to marry him on a beach in Santa Monica at sunset. He had gotten on one knee and told me I was his best friend and the person he wanted to spend his life with. I cried because I was so happy. My mother cried when I called her to tell her the news. My father shook Tyler's hand and told him, "Welcome to the family." It was all a lie. Or maybe it was real at the start, but my father turned it into a lie. I could have fought them. I could have taken a picture of the email and sent it to everyone we knew. I could have gone to Sunday dinner and screamed at my father. I could have called my cousin and asked if she was in on the plan. But I didn't do that. Instead, I sat there until the sun came up and I made a different choice. I decided to prove my father wrong about everything he thought he knew about me. The next morning I called my boss and told him I was sick. Then I called my landlord and asked how to end my lease early. Then I talked to a lawyer. By the time Tyler sent me a text asking if I wanted to go to dinner that weekend, I already had everything ready. I met him at our favorite place, a quiet Italian restaurant where we always went for special days. He was messing with his napkin and looked very nervous. He had probably spent all day practicing how he was going to dump me. "Adelina," he began. He used a soft, annoying voice that made me feel disgusted now. "I have been thinking a lot about us lately." "It's fine," I said, cutting him off. My voice was very calm. "I already know." His face turned completely white. You know. I know you want to end the engagement. I know you've been having second thoughts, and honestly, Tyler, I feel the same way." The lie was very easy to say. "I think we have just grown apart. We want different things. It isn't anyone's fault." I watched him think about this. I saw him look relieved, and I felt nothing at all. "You are being so understanding about this," he said. He tried to grab my hand. I pulled it away. "I just want both of us to be happy," I told him. "You should be with someone who matches your goals, someone who can give you the kind of life you want." His eyes blinked. Maybe he felt guilty, or maybe he realized I was using the same words my father used in the email. "You deserve someone who likes you for who you are," he said, still trying to act like a good person. "Yes," I said, "I do." I took off the engagement ring and put it on the table between us. 5 years of my life were now just a small piece of metal and a stone. "Keep it," I said. "Sell it, I don't care what you do with it." I left him sitting there. He was probably happy about how easy I made it for him. I gave him exactly what my father paid for, a clean break. I didn't start crying until I got back to my apartment. Then I cried for 3 hours straight. It was the kind of crying that makes you feel empty inside. I cried for the 5 years I lost. I cried for the man I thought was my father. I cried for the cousin I had trusted. I cried because I knew I would have to see Tyler and my cousin together at every holiday and pretend I didn't know the truth. When I was finished crying, I made a promise to myself. I would never let anyone make me feel like I was worth nothing again. I wouldn't let anyone else put a price on me, and I was going to show my father exactly how wrong he was about what I could do. 2 weeks later, I was sitting on a plane heading to Singapore. I had taken a job as a senior accountant at a new financial technology company that was doing big things in the Asian market. The CEO, a woman named Jessica, had been trying to get me to join her for 7 months. I had told her no before because of Tyler. I was busy planning a wedding and trying to be practical. Well, forget being practical. I told my mother I was moving for a great work opportunity. I told my brother I just needed to start over somewhere else. I didn't tell a single person about the email I found. I didn't tell anyone what my father had done. I just got out of there. My father called me the day before I was supposed to fly out. "Adelina, this is very sudden," he said. "Don't you think you are being impulsive?" "No, Dad," I replied. "I think I am being practical. This is a huge chance for my career. You always told me to focus on my work." "But what about Tyler? What about the wedding?" he asked. "Tyler and I broke up. We both wanted it. We just realized we wanted different things," I said. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. I wondered if he felt bad at all. I wondered if he even knew how to feel bad. "Well," he finally said, "if you are sure this is what you want, then go. My niece will miss you at family parties." I gripped my phone tightly. I am sure she will be just fine. I hung up before he could say another word. Singapore was hot, it was crowded, and it was nothing like home. It was perfect. I started working with an energy that even I didn't know I had. The company was small, but they had big goals. Jessica was a very smart woman who started the business from nothing, and she didn't like people who didn't work hard. I did really well there. It turns out that when you aren't spending all your time worrying about a man's ego, and when you aren't trying to act small so someone else can feel big, you can do amazing things. After 7 months, Jessica promoted me to controller. A year after that, I became the CFO. By my second year there, we were getting ready to put the company on the stock market. I worked 90-hour weeks. I learned how to speak Mandarin. I made deals with investors from all over the world. I became the kind of person who could fly anywhere at a moment's notice, who made decisions worth millions of dollars, and who men twice my age actually listened to in the boardroom. I also learned how to be by myself without feeling lonely. My apartment in Singapore was small but very modern. It was high up in a building with a great view of the city. I bought furniture that I actually liked, not stuff that fit Tyler's style. I started doing yoga. I joined a book club. I made friends with other people who had moved there from different countries. They didn't know my past. They didn't know about the wedding that never happened. And they didn't know my father had paid my fiancé to leave. Sometimes I thought about calling my brother and telling him everything. We had always been close. But every time I picked up the phone, I remembered that he was still back there. He was still part of that world. He was still having Sunday dinners with my father, my cousin, and probably Tyler too. I stayed away. I sent cards for birthdays. I sent short, polite texts when people messaged me. I built a huge wall between my old life and my new one. I didn't look back at all until I got an email from my brother 4 years after I had left. "Adelina, I am getting married," he wrote. "I know we haven't talked much since you moved away, but you are my sister. I can't imagine having a wedding without you there. The wedding is in Portland in 3 months. Please come. It would mean everything to me and to my fiancé. We really miss you." I stared at that email for a very long time. 4 years. I had spent 4 years building a life where I didn't have to think about what my father did. I didn't have to see my cousin or Tyler and act like everything was okay. But this was my little brother. He was the one who called me crying when his first girlfriend broke his heart. I was the one who helped him with his college papers. He always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I couldn't miss his big day. I called him on a video chat. He looked older and more grown up, but he had the same smile. "You'll come?" he asked, looking hopeful. "I'll come," I said, "but on one condition." "Anything," he replied. "I am bringing someone with me." I hadn't planned on saying that, but as soon as the words came out, I knew it was the right thing to do. My brother's eyes got wide. "You are seeing someone, Adelina. That's great. Of course, bring him, whoever makes you happy." "His name is Nathan," I said. That part was true. There was a man named Nathan. He was the CEO of a big investment firm in Hong Kong. We had met at a meeting in Tokyo 7 months ago. We started talking over bad hotel coffee and realized we both hated corporate buzzwords. We had been seeing each other whenever we were in the same city. It was easy and natural. It was nothing like my time with Tyler. Nathan actually listened when I talked about my work. He challenged my ideas and made me smarter, not smaller. He had his own big goals and didn't need me to give up mine. When I called Nathan after talking to my brother, he answered right away. "How do you feel about meeting my family?" I asked. "Is this the family you haven't talked to in 4 years?" he asked. "That's the one." "Sounds scary. I'm in," he said. "I should probably tell you that my ex-fiancé married my cousin, and they will probably be there," I added. There was a short silence. "Okay, now I am definitely going. This sounds like the most interesting wedding I will go to all year." "You are ridiculous," I told him. "You like that about me, don't you?" I did, I really did. The flight back to Portland felt much longer than any of the business trips I usually took. Nathan slept next to me, holding my hand. We had decided to stay low-key and not act like we were trying to show off. I told myself this trip wasn't about getting revenge or proving a point, but we both knew that wasn't true. My brother picked us up from the airport. He gave me a hug so tight I could barely breathe, and then he shook Nathan's hand with a lot of energy. It made me remember how much I had missed him. "I am so happy you are here," my brother kept saying. "My fiancé can't wait to meet you. Mom has been cooking for 2 days. Dad is acting like he isn't crying, but he definitely is." My stomach felt tight when he mentioned my father. My cousin and Tyler will be there too, my brother added, looking at me to see my reaction. I invited them before I knew. Well, I didn't know if it would be awkward for you. It's your wedding, I told him. Everyone who matters to you should be there. The rehearsal dinner was at a nice place downtown. I picked my clothes very carefully. I wore a navy dress that looked professional but not too stiff. It was elegant but didn't look like I was trying too hard. Nathan wore a suit that probably cost more than my first car, but he looked like he wasn't even trying. We walked in together, and I could feel everyone in the room looking at us. My mother saw me first. She gasped, dropped her wine glass on the table, and ran over to hug me. Adelina, oh honey, you look amazing, and you must be Nathan. My son told us all about you. My father stood up more slowly. He looked older now. His hair was more grey. He shook Nathan's hand, looking him up and down like fathers do, and said, "It's good to see you, Adelina." "You too, Dad," I replied. My cousin was there with Tyler. She had cut her hair short and looked like she had gained some weight. She was still pretty, but she looked tired around her eyes. Tyler had lost some hair and looked like he spent too much time at the gym just to avoid being at home. They both stared when they saw me. "Adelina," my cousin said, her voice sounding way too excited. "Oh my God, it's been forever, look at you." "Hi," I said. "Tyler, hello." Tyler just nodded. He couldn't even look me in the eye. "Good to see you," he muttered. The dinner was just as uncomfortable as I thought it would be. I sat between my brother and Nathan. I answered questions about Singapore, my job, and how I met Nathan. My mother kept touching my hand as if she was checking to see if I was actually there. My father was quiet and just watched me. My cousin kept trying to talk to me, asking about my apartment and if I missed the city. Tyler said almost nothing. He just pushed his food around and kept refilling his wine glass. "So what do you do for a living, Nathan?" my father finally asked. "I run an investment firm," Nathan said calmly. "We focus on technology in the Asia-Pacific area." "Investment," my father repeated. "That makes a lot of money, I assume." "Dad," I said quietly like a warning. "I'm just talking, Adelina," he said. "It can be lucrative," Nathan said, not bothered at all. "But Adelina actually makes more than I do. Her company went public last year. She has done very well for herself." The whole table went silent. "You went public?" my father asked, staring at me. "Your startup went public?" "Yes," I said. "Last June we rang the bell at the Singapore exchange. It was a big day." "Why didn't you tell us?" my mother asked. "I wanted to say, because you chose a trust fund over my potential, because Dad thought I wasn't worth anything, because I built this without any of you." "I was busy," I said instead. "Everything happened very fast." My cousin's face went pale. That's amazing, Adelina, congratulations." Tyler was staring at his plate like it was the most interesting thing in the world. My father cleared his throat. "Well, that is a big achievement," he said. "Thank you," I replied. The conversation started again, but I felt my father watching me for the rest of the night. After dinner, while people were standing around with drinks, my father pulled me to the side. "Adelina, can we talk?" "Sure, Dad." We went out onto the restaurant's patio. It was a clear night and you could see the city lights. "I owe you an apology," he said. "I didn't say anything, I just waited. When you left for Singapore, I thought you were just running away," he continued. "I thought you were being emotional and making a quick decision. I was worried about you." "Were you?" I asked. "I was wrong," he said. "About a lot of things. You built an incredible career. You made something of yourself that I didn't see coming." "No," I agreed, "you didn't." "About Tyler and my niece," he started, then he stopped. "Things didn't work out the way I had hoped." "How did you hope they would work out, Dad?" He looked at me and then he really looked into my eyes. I saw him realize that I knew everything. I saw him trying to figure out exactly how much I knew. "You saw the emails," he said quietly. "I saw them." Adelina, did my niece know? I asked him. Did she know you paid him? No, she didn't, he said. She thought he picked her on his own. So you didn't just betray me, I said. You lied to her too. He flinched. I thought I was helping both of you. I thought she needed someone stable, and I thought Tyler needed someone who could help his career. I thought you needed someone who would appreciate you more, and Tyler wasn't that guy. So you decided to play God with our lives, I said. I made a mistake, he whispered. You put a price on your daughter, I said, and my voice started to shake. $60,000, that's what I was worth to you. Less than my cousin's trust fund, less than Tyler's goals, just $60,000 to make me go away. That is not what I meant, he said. Do you know what the worst part is? I interrupted him. You were right, Tyler wasn't worth my time. My cousin's trust fund is huge. Your investment in him probably would have worked if he actually loved her. You were right about the math. Then why are you angry? Because I am your daughter, I shouted. I am your daughter, and you should have believed in me. You should have told Tyler that I was the prize, not her. You should have threatened him if he ever thought about leaving me. But instead you paid him to go. You taught me that my own father doesn't think I am worth fighting for. He looked old and tired. I'm sorry, he said. Adelina, I am so sorry. I know you are, I said. But here is the thing, Dad. I learned my worth without you. I built my success without your money. I found a man who chooses me every single day without needing 100 reasons to do it. So your apology doesn't really change anything. Can you forgive me? He asked. I thought about it for a second. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe one day. But right now I am here for my brother, not for you or my cousin or Tyler. I am here because my brother is getting married and I love him. Do not think that me being here means I have forgiven you. I walked back inside before he could say anything else. Nathan was waiting for me at the bar. He didn't ask what happened. He just handed me a glass of wine and asked, "Are you okay?" "Yet," I said, "I really am." The wedding itself was beautiful. My brother and his new wife looked so happy and so much in love that I felt really happy for the first time in several days. This was what love was supposed to look like. This was how it felt when two people actually chose each other. At the party afterward, I watched my cousin and Tyler from across the room. They sat at their table and barely spoke to each other. My cousin checked her phone every few minutes. Tyler just kept drinking steadily all night. When the DJ played a slow song, they didn't even get up to dance. I found out later from my mother, who always loved to tell secrets, that their marriage was almost over. Tyler had cheated on her 6 months ago. My cousin found out but stayed with him because her Instagram followers thought they were the perfect couple. Tyler stayed because he had quit his job to manage her social media career and had nowhere else to go. My father's $60,000 had basically bought both of them a cage. When it was time to throw the bouquet, my brother's wife looked right at me and grinned. I shook my head, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. A group of women gathered on the dance floor and my cousin joined them with a fake smile on her face. My brother's wife turned around, counted to 3 and threw the flowers directly at me. I caught them without even thinking. The whole room started cheering. Nathan was laughing. My brother gave me a thumbs up. My mother was crying happy tears. My cousin was just staring at me with a look I couldn't quite understand. Maybe she was sad, or maybe she was just tired of pretending everything was perfect. I didn't feel angry at her. I just felt sorry for her. "I guess that means you are next," someone yelled out. Nathan came over, took my hand and pulled me onto the dance floor. "What do you say?" he asked in a low voice. "Do you want to make an honest man out of me? Are you seriously asking me to marry you at my brother's wedding?" I asked him. "God, no, that would be tacky," he said. "I am asking if you would be okay with me asking you for real next month in Bali. I already have the ring." I stared at him. "You have a ring?" "I've had it for 2 months," he said. "I was waiting for the right time. But seeing you catch that bouquet and seeing you stand here after everything you've been through, looking like none of these people can hurt you anymore, I don't want to wait. That is the least romantic preview of a proposal I have ever heard, I told him. The real proposal will be better, he promised. I've been working on it. You are ridiculous, I said. You keep saying that, he replied. Is that a yes? I looked around the room. I saw my brother dancing with his wife, my mother chatting with guests, and my father watching me from far away with a look that might have been pride or regret. I saw Tyler and my cousin at their table, two people stuck in a life built on lies and money. I thought about the last 4 years, the long nights of work, and how I finally learned to value myself. Yes, I said to Nathan, it's a yes. We danced while my family watched us. When the song ended, my father came up to us. May I? He asked, gesturing for a dance. I looked at Nathan, who squeezed my hand and stepped back. My father and I danced in silence for a moment before he spoke. I know you said you are only here for your brother, he said, but I hope you know how proud I am of what you have done. Don't, I said quietly. Please don't try to take credit for my success. You didn't believe in me. I did this despite you, not because of you. I know, he said. Do you? I asked. Because you spent my whole life telling me to be boring and practical and not to try too hard. And the second I actually started doing something great, you decided I wasn't good enough and paid someone to dump me. You taught me that I had to leave my whole life behind just to prove I was worth something. And you did, he said. You proved it. I shouldn't have had to, I told him. The song ended and I stepped back. I need to go. Nathan and I have an early flight tomorrow. Will you come back? He asked. For holidays, for visits, and for my brother, I said. When he needs me, I will be here. But Dad, you and I aren't going to have Sunday dinners anymore. We aren't going to be the family we used to be. You broke that. And I'm not going to pretend it's fixed just because you said sorry. What about your cousin? He asked. What about her? She married the man you paid to leave me. Whether she knew about the money or not, she chose to be with him. She made her choice, I've made mine. I walked away from him and went back to Nathan. I went back to the life I had built without any of them. My mother caught me before we left and gave me a huge hug. Come back soon, she whispered. Please, I've missed you so much. I will, Mom, I promise, I told her. My brother and his wife walked us out to the car. He hugged me and said, I am really glad you came. I am really glad you're happy, I told him. Me too, little brother. On the plane back to Singapore, Nathan held my hand. How do you feel? He asked. Lighter, I said. I thought seeing them would make me sad, but mostly I just feel free. I don't regret leaving or saying no to my father's version of forgiveness. Good, Nathan said. Because I have a confession. I didn't just come to the wedding to meet your family. I also wanted to see if there was anything back here worth competing with, and I am very happy to say that Singapore has everything you need, including me. I laughed. It was a real loud laugh. You are absolutely ridiculous. You keep saying that like it's a bad thing, he joked. 3 months later, Nathan proposed on a beach in Bali at sunset. He got down on one knee and told me I was his partner and his equal. I said yes immediately. We got married 6 months after that in a small ceremony in Singapore with only 20 people. My mother came. My brother and his wife came. A few close friends from work and my book club were there too. My father sent a card with a check inside. I tore up the check and put the card in the recycling bin. My cousin sent me a message online saying, Congratulations, Adelina, you look so happy. I read it and never wrote back. Tyler didn't reach out at all. My life now is nothing like the one I had planned with Tyler. I don't live in Portland and I don't have Sunday dinners with my whole family. Instead, I have a marriage based on respect. I have a career that I love. I have a life that stretches across the world. I have the kind of success my father couldn't have bought for me even if he tried. I have a value that no one can put a price on. Sometimes people ask if I ever forgave my father. It's complicated. I don't hate him, but I don't let him into my private life anymore. He gets birthday calls and some updates. He didn't walk me down the aisle and he won't be the first person to meet his grandkids. He made his choice and I made mine. My choice was to stop letting other people decide what I am worth. The best revenge isn't being angry. It's building a life so beautiful that you forget you ever wanted revenge at all. When I look back at the night I found that email, I can see it clearly now. My father didn't destroy my life. He just showed me that the life I was living was too small for me. In the end, that $60,000 was the best investment he ever made, even if he didn't mean for it to be. It bought me my freedom.